Well, today is the full moon, which generally means slow tides and very slow fishing. However, if you can plan your day around this and really target those bread and butter species that will still be on the go during the full moon, you can have a really productive day on the water and catch yourself a good bag of fish. We're going to get out there and we're going to run through all the details. So sit back and enjoy the show.
We've got a little sandbar in front of us here, so certainly not rough conditions. It's going to be a little bit of swell today, but what you'll always find when you're coming over shallow water, which is pretty common on low tide, you will get these sort of waves. And the only thing you got to do is just keep the bow of the kayak straight. Now obviously a pro angler will eat this up for breakfast, so there's no issues whatsoever. But if you are in an entry-level kayak and you are just starting, the key is just keep the nose of the kayak straight into the waves and you'll be fine. So as soon as you go side on, that's when you're going to have some issues. So even here, straighten that up, and you know, probably expect to get a little bit wet. Now you can imagine if you're in something like a Hobie Lynx or something like that, it's going to be a wet ride. But once you get past these little parts here, you'll find it'll flatten out and we should be deep enough shortly that we can drop the pedal system and get on our wave, straighten up. That's better. And away we go. Fortunately, I've got a little bit of water in my boots today, so that's not the way that you want to start.
All right, so we've been fishing now for 10 minutes and not a touch on the soft plastics. Just for the hell of it, I threw a squid jig over the side and then I've turned to grab a drink, and within literally about 2 seconds that rod was just buckling over, so I knew I had a squid on there. And then there was another one straight away. So what I've done now is I've just loaded up both rods just with squid jigs. So whilst the flathead are a little bit quiet, and obviously we've been out here such a short time, but it is pretty sloppy and I suspect it's going to be a quick session today. So we're not going to force it. We're going to let the conditions bring to us what we think's on the go. So now what I'm doing is I've got a sleeper squid jig on my left-hand side, and that's just naturally going with the current. We're moving quite fast, and actually that's a really good thing because it means that squid jig is essentially working itself as the sleeper, and that will definitely catch a few, which it already has. And what I've done now is I've just swapped over this other rod outfit that I've got here, and I've got another squid jig on that. So fingers crossed, we might be able to pick up a few squid quickly.
Yep, that's a squid. There we go. So we've got the squid rod as the drifter. I cast that out and literally 2 seconds later we've got ourselves a squid. So I think that's what's really good to do in these conditions, is just mix things up. Now I've got a bit of a mess here, so I'm gonna have to be careful that I don't lose the squid. There we go.
Yeah, got one.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, good one. Felt it. This is quite a light tip rod, this one, but this does feel not bad. Yeah, it's a nice squid. There we go. Let's get it. Make sure you don't lose the tension off the rod as you get back to get the squid, and always net them from behind, guys, because what will happen, they'll actually squirt themselves straight into, and we might have a double here. No, that's okay. A good thing to do is when you catch one, get your squid jig and just cast it straight back out and then deal with the squid, because they're often in pairs and they're often in the same location. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this guy. Oh, we're on. We've got a double. Here we go. Oh, take that back. We've got a double. So, and the worst thing is I've got that squid in the net. So I'm going to have to deadlift this guy. Oh, this is a better size one, this one too. He's hooked quite good, so we should be right here. Actually, he's a nice one. So, oh yeah, he's a much better one. Look at that, that's a ripper. Hey! There we go. As I said, if you can get your jigs out quickly, squid always pair up in the same area. A lot of fish and squid and that, they like to hold the same area. It might be because of weed or reef or something. So if you catch one, mark a waypoint on your sounder, just by chance. I've already got one that's marked there, but I'm gonna do another one there anyway. Point number 8. And I know if things go a little bit quiet in a few minutes, what we can do is we can drift straight back over that spot and we're a good chance to land one. And as I said, double hookups there straight away. So look at this one here. That is, there you go. That's a beautiful calamari. So that is a beautiful eating size squid. And to me, there is nothing better than eating these fresh. The best thing to do with these squid is you can spike them, okay, in between the eyes and just above the hood, and they will change color and they'll turn white, and then get them straight on ice. They're such a unique looking creature. And oh, I think, is that on? Oh, that was a huge hit. Oh, maybe I had my own line. Oh no, he's got one. Oh, look at this one. Oh, this is really pulling. Wow. Oh, this is a good one. Now, around this side of town, you don't get a huge squid. You get squid in good volumes, but you don't get the massive size ones. We don't get the big Western Port ones here. And obviously, the other side of Port Phillip Bay, if you are willing to travel up to places like Queenscliff, Clifton Springs, St. Leonard's, you can definitely get some really good size ones there. But okay, now same logic, grab your squid jig straight away, cast it into the same area, because you're a decent chance of getting a squid straight away, because these squid are always in pairs and numbers, okay? So that's out there. Okay, and here's another good one. And the good thing is, no jokes, these cameras have pretty much been running live the whole time. So we've been out here for 15 minutes, and I think that's 4 or 5 squid in literally 5 minutes. So just letting the conditions come to you, changing from soft plastics to squid because we knew that was on, and we're just going bang, 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 bang. And the good thing about this is we might get a bag really quickly, and then we can adjust our day and go back onto, so there you go there. That's a nice squid, a really good eating size. And again, what we're gonna do is spike him just there, and you spike him in between the eyes. They'll change color and they'll be white, straight on ice. And that's some great eating on the full moon in winter with some slow tides. So don't let the cold conditions fool you. Get out there and get fishing, guys. All you gotta do is rug up. So today what I did is, rather than fishing at first light, slept in a little bit, had some breakfast, and hit the water at about 9:30. And by that stage, it's 12 or 13 degrees. It's really comfortable. I took my heated jacket off, having a great time, and we're catching a good feed here. So we'll get this one on ice, and hopefully we can make some more progress towards that bag. Now for me, the worst thing about squid fishing is I've got a white kayak. So this is a Hobie Pro Angler 14. This is my pride and joy. And I think they call it ivory white. And when you are squid fishing, it means you're going to end up with lots and lots of ink all over the place. Even when you do net them carefully, that's just part of squid fishing is ink. And obviously you end up with, you know, ink all over your hands. But for me, it's ink all over the deck of the kayak. So it means it's a pretty big cleanup operation when I get home. Now there are some tools that actually make that process a lot easier. There's things like your Magic Chucks Easy Eraser. That's what I use on here with a little bit of warm soapy water, and it actually cleans this up really good. Otherwise you end up with stains, and the yak or your boat looks pretty horrible. So a few things that you can do, but I'll tell you what, it's a good problem to have. Let's talk about squid fishing techniques for a quick second. So when you've got conditions like this, when your boat or your kayak is drifting really fast, you actually don't need to do a great deal. And the reason for that is because you're drifting at a speed that your squid jigs are going to be near the bottom, but they're not hitting the bottom and they're just moving along. And you're going to find you will catch a lot of squid by actually not doing a great deal. So for me, that is having the one rod in the rod holder, which we call the drifter or the sleeper. And all I do is I cast that out, close the bail arm, and then just leave it there. That's already caught 3 or 4 squid today. And it just shows that when you've got a little bit of water movement, you can still catch them. Now, if it was dead calm, you do run the risk that sometimes you will snag up. So that isn't quite as effective if you're on a extremely slow drift. You really want a little bit of movement. What I'm doing with this one is I'm casting out, and then sort of every 10 or 15 seconds, just giving it a nice sharp lift, and you're kind of working it as if it's like an erratic prawn or something along those lines. And you're gonna find it's a little bit like working a soft plastic when you're targeting things like flathead. You cast it, here we go, got one. Oh, got a good one. I got one. And it's just like working a soft plastic. And then you see there, I was just doing a couple of little subtle lifts. Oh, this one's just squirting everywhere. Net behind him. Got him. Okay, and again, just like working the soft plastic really, really nice and slowly. Again, my logic is always get your squid jig back out straight away, because I find on your drift, you tend to pick up 2s and 3s in succession really, really quickly. But in these conditions here, it's a little bit sloppy. This side of town, you'll get lots and lots of squid of this sort of size. Obviously today, we've got a few a little bit bigger like that. We're on again, told you. So again, it's about, if you get one, put it in that same spot, because they're always in pairs. So I just cast that in exactly the same area, and it's right on top of that waypoint that we have drifted back over. So this one feels a little bit bigger than this other one, because this one here's a bit of a little guy. He hasn't surfaced yet. There we go, there's another one. Beautiful. So we're getting a good feed coming along here. And that's a better size one. And again, let's just do that again. Grab your squid jig. Oh, we've got triples, that other rod's on. The other rod's on. So cast that one out. I think this rod's on. Oh, he was on. He was on. Let's just leave that one there. That was definitely going boom, boom, boom like that. So we'll leave that one there. And here's a little bit of a better size. All right, and there you go. So there's another really nice squid. All right, so there you go. So you got 1 and 2 squid there in literally about 30 seconds. So I think that brings us up to 8 now. And again, for me, really, really important is having that waypoint, drifting back over that exact same point, and then having your squid jigs ready, that when you catch one, putting another one straight in the same spot means that you're a really good chance of maximizing your catch rates and getting onto a few. Got some really nice incants here, so I'm going to wash those, and I'm going to dispatch both these squid, get them on ice, and we are 2 away from our bag now. All right, so one question I get a lot from viewers is, what makes a good squid rod? Now guys, you don't have to go out and buy anything too extravagant. If you're new to this, even just a basic spin rod will work just fine. So obviously buy within your budget and your capability. One thing you really want though is you want a very, very soft tip. And the reason for that is obviously squid, what they do is they use their tentacles and they grab onto that squid jig. If you've got a very stiff rod tip and you lift up as the squid strikes that jig, you have a tendency to rip that squid jig out of its tentacles. By having a soft tip rod, what happens is as the squid grabs on with its tentacles, you lift up your rod, there's a lot of give in your rod tip, and that's the reason why you do have a lot of eggy rods on the market. You'll find a lot of them will have quite stiff butt sections to get you that really good casting distance, but then they'll have quite thin and quite flexible rod tips, again to give you that soft touch and that flexibility, that way you don't actually pull squid jigs. 2500 size reel, anything from 8 to 12 pound braid, and one rod length of 8 to 12 pound fluorocarbon leader. In terms of colors, just get out there and get creative. It's amazing how many times people will say, what's your favorite squid jig color? Do squid jig colors make any difference? Honestly, I'm not really sure. I think if you put 50 people in a room and you said to them, do squid jig colors make a difference, and what's your favorite squid jig colors, you'd probably end up with 50 different answers. And that's because I find that it's different on every occasion. I've got some mates that are absolutely world-class squid fishers, and they just use the same color every single time, and they do really well. I've got other guys that will chop and change colors depending on the outdoor temperature, the water clarity, whether it's cloudy or not, what time of day. There's a whole science to it, and you'll see a lot of the big squid fishing brands, they've got all these colors and charts and guides and all these sort of things. To me, I reckon the best thing that you can do is come out with a range of colors. If you're not getting any action in the first 10 or 15 minutes, use a quick eggy clip so that way you can change your squid jigs quickly. Just keep changing until you find something that works. So at the moment, I'm just using a natural pilchard color. So it's got a blue top and a white belly. That seems to be doing really well. To me, that's actually part of the fun and part of the journey with squid fishing, is getting out and working what they're going out on the day. If you can work it out, if you can crack the code, then you're in for a really good feed. Now, what I have done is I've drifted about 300 meters away from where I caught those 6 squid really quickly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pedal straight back over there, run that same drift line. By marking some waypoints on my sounder, I'm not gonna be drifting over grounds where I've already caught any, which is the most productive thing that you can do, and a great way to hopefully finish our bag.
All right, so we've come straight back to that prime spot here. So all I'm using today, just color-wise, guys, is just one of these very natural colored looking squid jigs. And as I said, sometimes I'll start with whites or blacks or reds or golds. Like, there's so many variations that, I don't know, you know, you can sort of get a little bit lost in terms of what you start with. All I would say is have a little bit of fun with it. And often things don't go exactly to plan. The good anglers are the ones that can make changes on the fly, make small changes as they're going along in terms of where they're fishing, what they're doing, what they're using, colors, jig head weights, all that sort of stuff. If you can keep making changes and hone in on what's fishing well on the day, because the conditions are different every single time you hit the water, those little things like that make a big difference. And it can be the difference of having a quiet day or a productive day on the water. And we can see now we're starting to drift straight back over that line. So fingers crossed, get our bag, and then we'll get some soft plastics on and try and target a few flatties. Yep, gotcha. Oh, this is the best one today. This is, mate, Trav, this is heavy. Yeah, this is gonna be a big one for number 9. This one's pulling. Yeah, it's a good one. This is the squid of the day, so that's good. Oh, he's a nice squid, this one. Got him. Woohoo! There you go. What a beautiful squid that is. So absolutely fantastic. And old mate the boat has just seen us, and he's like 10-15 meters away from us now. So, and you do get followed a lot around these days. But there you go. How good is that? Good bag of squid. We'll be eating very, very well over the next few days, and pretty damn happy with that.
That way, I just got a flathead. I might just go past it here for the last half an hour.
Got one. Yep, he was just pulling on it. I felt him just playing with it. Sorry, matey. I think this is the bag, guys. So this is squid number 10. So, oh, he's like just hanging on by like the smallest amount, so I don't want to drop him here. There we go. There's our bag of squid. That's a nice one. Done. Job done. Tough conditions, full moon, cold water. Natural pilchard colours today has definitely done the spoils, and you can see it's a little bit of a UV colour. That looks absolutely outstanding. So what it means now is these weather conditions are not very pleasant, but it means that we can change our sights now and hopefully get ourselves a few flathead on board, and that would be a really, really awesome day. Bag of squid and a couple of flathead. So let's get on to that. So it's just masses of bait. Alrighty, we've got a heavy one on here. This is a real heavy fish. It's just trying to hold the bottom. Not doing a great deal. I have to get that net out behind me. Just let it run. Oh, this is a heavy fish. Holy shnikes, this is going to be a really good fish. Wow, and that drag is set pretty tight, guys. Oh, this is a huge flatty, and it's right under a big school of bait. It's just coming up now, so oh, we want to land this one. This is a good fish. Oh yeah. That is a good flathead. Oh, and he spat the soft plastic out right at the kayak. He's just spat that soft plastic out, so that is a good one. There, so oh, we got both rods on, and we've got another good one here. So I think we might just mark a waypoint here, because this is another good fish. Might be another keeper size flatty. Now this one's a little bit smaller, but that's okay. Well, the conditions are just starting to turn a bit out here, but what I think it has proven today has been a success. We knew that it was full moon, it's going to be very slow tides, quite cold water temperatures, and a little bit sloppy out here, but you can still come out, let the conditions come to you and catch yourself a really good bag of fish. And in that case, we've been on the water for just over 90 minutes, and we've got ourselves a bag of squid
and a couple of really nice flathead. When it is full moon, a lot of your species will go off the bite, only for a small period. I often find it's only about 48 hours, but in those moments, it's about targeting those bread and butter species that you know you can still come out and catch and get in good numbers and still get yourself a good feed to take home, even on those expected quieter days. And that's exactly what we've done. And for me, that is a great morning on the water, even though it has been very short. Anyway, we're about to head back in, guys, so I hope that you've enjoyed the episode, and I look forward to chatting to you sometime soon. Take care, everyone. So I'm just going to turn it around because
not a bad day on the water. A couple of flathead and good bag of squid to take home, so you can have a good look at that there. And that's what it's all about. Great day on the water. See you later.
If you enjoyed the episode, then become a Fishing Mad member. It's easy to join by visiting www.fishingmad.com.au/member and gain access to an online portal that's full of helpful fishing content, including detailed workshops, fishing reports, rigging tutorials, podcasts, giveaways, competitions, maps, gear reviews, sounder training, exclusive videos, and much more. It's a great platform and helps to support everything we do at Fishing Mad, so become a member today.